Yeah, let's see.
Jeez, that's hot.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About That. I'm your co-host Tony,
and I'm Martin. And today we're having a topic where, I would say 90% of us are quite familiar with our fathers, and the thing of being a father. We are familiar with both.
That's correct.
As you know, we have 2 children, both of us, and things happens when you become a dad, Tony.
Yes.
What's the biggest difference that, like, you remember that changed about yourself when you had your first son?
Well, what I've found over the years is like for the most part, prior to having kids, when I saw kids, I was like, kids are fine, whatever. I see a kid in public, it's not a big deal. And since having a kid of my own, it's just whenever I see a kid in public, I love that kid. It's
yeah.
It's like I want to wave to them and I want to make them smile and
sure, absolutely.
It's just like it's sort of like all kids become like alternate versions of your own kid, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, and that's kind of hard because it's not your job to raise them. So if they do something you might find like a bad thing, it's not necessarily bad for them in the way they're brought up. So
sure,
that's kind of a balance I find difficult when we're having children over, like what is allowed and what is not. I mean it's our house and our rules, but still there is a line there, and
absolutely it is. I mean, mostly I love, I see them in public, so I don't, like out in a store or something, then if I see one, then it's a different scenario. But I do find that if someone's at our house, or even if I'm at their house, it's like, what do I do here? I'm not the parent. Am I overstepping if I try and parent? I usually just kind of leave it to the parents, because I am not good at that.
Because you don't want to do anything wrong either. You want to be the kind of cool dude, but you still have to be. You're still a parent, so that's kind of a balance. But I do like kids too, more than I did before, in a different way, at least. Yeah,
I remember. I also I was so before having a kid, I was always really nervous about the idea of holding babies.
Yeah, I mean,
like you think of their like sensitive little necks. I'm like, you're gonna give me that baby, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna move wrong and just oh crap, your baby.
Gotta buy a new paralyzed.
One. And then I had one, and now it's like I want to hold that baby when I see one of my friends has a baby or something like that.
Yeah. It's something special about the newborns. It's not like a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old. It's something really special about that little tiny body.
Yeah. It's nice before they can talk and start having opinions, and they're just cute.
I mean, our youngest, he can't talk, but man, he do have opinions. He knows when he's not comfortable.
Well, that's good. That's good. He knows how to assert himself, right?
Yeah, definitely. The biggest change for me, I think I become way more emotional when we had kids.
Yeah.
Like I get touched easier now than I did before. And it came just suddenly. I realized it, like, what's happening now? Why am I emotional? What's this? Just over some random stuff. Like I not that I sit and cry over stuff, but I feel like I'm touched by something I see or hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, a lot of yeah, I've gotten very strong emotional reactions to like some kids movies now, or like like I guess I should say family movies, that have like interesting dynamics between the kids and the parents and stuff like that. Like,
Absolutely.
and of course it also changes that now. In a lot of those old kids movies, it's often the kid and their overbearing father or something who wants to do this, and like these days I relate way more to the father than I do to the kid. I'm like,
yeah. It's a whole different point of view. The moment you become a parent. I mean, I guess it's the same thing if you become a mother.
Yeah,
you're changed, and I'm not talking about the bodies of anyone. I'm talking about mentally and how you act. I mean, you can't be as reckless as you were before. Yeah. I mean, it's like driving fast in the car and stuff like that. You don't do that as much as you probably did when you were younger and child free.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, no, it's overall it's great being a father. I mean, it has its ups and downs.
Yeah, definitely. But in the end, it's all positive, I guess.
Yeah.
All the small things that you gather throughout a week or a day, they're worth it. Even though you have to yell or be strict sometimes, it's worth it in the end. I mean, kids always try to push the boundaries. So, yeah, that's how it is.
Have you had any moments with either of your kids that stand out to you as being like, I don't know, you just felt like really proud to be a dad, or you just felt like a really good dad in that moment or something like that?
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I brought my daughter with me to camp, or not camp, to a small hike where we had kind of a breakfast over the campfire, and that's kind of a moment I enjoy. Also, I love it when she joins me outside to do some work around the house. She used the electric drill and the hammer. She uses the big saw. I mean, it's awesome. She's tough. And the one he's 8 months old, so yeah, he doesn't do
no power
much
tools for him yet.
No, not yet. I'm thinking of buying him some next year maybe. But yeah, those times are amazing. Also, when we are on a summer house and we were out in the boat and we were rowing around in the fjords, and it's just something like if it were a son or a daughter, that's doesn't matter. I mean, it's some quality time with the kid, and yeah, I like that. I like that a lot when she wants to join, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. What about you?
Let's see. One of the moments that comes to mind, it's not necessarily something I did with him, but I remember Vincent, who was our special guest a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this would have been probably when this was a few years ago now, when he was in daycare, and it was around Thanksgiving. And one of the common things they do are like, what are you thankful for, sorts of things. And so they had this little art project where it was like a turkey with these like 6 big feathers, where they would write what they were thankful for. And on one of them he wrote dad. And
oh, that's awesome. That's a melting heart right there. That's a melting heart.
I was the only I was the only member of the family who made the list, so I felt pretty special.
Yeah, that's a diamond medal right there. Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, it's just it's nice when I just get to sit down. We're so busy.
Yeah.
All the time.
We are too. Yeah.
Yeah. The other day, while he was home on spring break, I had lunch. I just actually got to sit down and have lunch with him and just chat, me and him, and it was really nice. It was just, it's sappy as it sounds. You're just reminded of how much you love your son or your daughter. In these moments.
Yeah. And he's in school, and my daughter is in school. They're approximately 1 year apart, and it's so strange to see how fast they grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mean not necessarily sight and height and all that, but the way they are. I mean, they're growing up, and the things they say is so adult-like. It's so mature. I mean, it's actually possible to have a decent conversation, not turning into something too childish. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's special when you actually are able to have a decent conversation with it, and not only evolving around toys or something.
Yeah. One of the things I really enjoy about Vincent is he loves science stuff.
Yeah.
So we talk about that a lot, and he likes to watch because there's some great science YouTubers that I like to watch too. And so it's really fun to be able to have those conversations with him. And I feel like one thing I've done well as a parent, for his life is always try and explain things fully to him, like I would to an adult. Don't dumb it down. Try and explain it as best you can.
Yeah. I mean, of course, to explain something that's complicated is hard. So maybe not go into too much details, but try to explain it like it actually is. And don't walk around and I totally support that. I try to do that too, and it helps so much with understanding of the world, I guess, for the child.
Yeah, it's well, it's also just fun to see how they take it in and how they remember it and stuff like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite. I love when like a new thing comes up and like me and my wife get to explain it to Vincent and listen to his questions. And usually eventually we'll get too in depth and he'll ask us if we can stop talking about it now. But yeah, no, that is I find that a very rewarding part of parenthood.
Yeah, being able to actually,
watching him grow, and learn, and it's great.
Yeah, soon he'll drive off with the car,
Yeah, well, I was joking with my wife. I mean, in this last week, he suddenly became a teenager where he would be he'd be done with dinner, ask to be excused, and he'd go up to his room and play on his laptop for a couple of hours. And it's okay, well, I guess it's just me and my wife and our 2-year-old now, which it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's that. As I said, they grow so fast. It's. I want to mention you mentioned or Vincent mentioned he's going or he's learning to code.
Yes.
Yeah, they're learning that too here in school now.
Nice.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised when my wife told me that that's coming up on the plan, that they're learning some simple coding, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's so convenient. I mean, that's how thing works now. I mean, it's all evolving around this computer world, and no matter what you do, there is a small computer and something data involved. So being able to teach, I mean, she will probably teach me how to use a computer eventually. So, yeah, we're coming to that. I've had to teach my Not my father actually, but my mother. I've had to teach something, so I guess history repeats itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, luckily, I think for Vincent, and luckily for me, I probably work with computers enough in my job that I won't have to. I won't someday have to come to him for tech support. Love you,
Yeah.
Mom. No, I definitely provide some family tech support for my parents too. So
Yeah.
just
I mean, it's not that. Of course, I want to help my parents when they ask. I mean, if they ask me to do something, I'll come around this weekend or stuff to do something. I mean,
mhm.
I do almost everything they ask. It's like what you do for your parents, I guess.
Yeah.
At least when you're close. I mean, there are too many people who aren't close to their parents, and for a number of reasons, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah, things happens in childhood and parenthood that just do not turn out well, and that's sad. But we will try to maintain the good friendship between the parents and the children. I
Mhm.
mean, that's kind of one thing I try to teach. To be a good child for your parents, and the other way, be a good
Yeah,
parent for
absolutely.
your child.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice. It when things go well, it can be a very, it can be a very special and sort of fulfilling relationship in the long term. And yeah, it is sad that for some people it's just like, well, I'm 18, I'm moving out, and maybe I'll see you again sometime. And
Yeah,
not to say there aren't reasons for that. I'm not begrudging anyone who makes that decision.
yeah,
But I think people that make that decision probably would agree with me that it's a shame that they had to make that decision, but they felt that that was the right decision.
yeah,
It's too bad.
yeah,
Because yeah,
uh,
I mean it can be great.
yeah. And it's actually never too late to turn things around. I mean, when you're growing up, words and opinions are exchanged between adults, and when the relationship is that close and you kind of starting to tear that, it's hard to make it fit again.
Mhm.
But then again, it's not too much effort from both sides to make it fit. So
Mhm.
if both want to again be able to connect, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But I also see it like it some people you just can't stand.
Mm.
You just can't stand that person. It just doesn't work. I mean, it's no connection there at all, and that can happen between child and a parent too, I guess.
Mhm.
So yeah, there is, as I said, a number of reasons why people lose contact. Although I find it sad.
Yeah. So as you've alluded to, you still you have a good relationship with your parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
We're at their place, and they're here rarely, but we're over at their place. Yeah, every other weekend, I think. And
Nice.
yeah, I see my mom every Monday when she picks up my daughter to go to the gym, uh, gymnastics, like yeah,
Yep.
jump around, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see my parents quite regularly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of standout stories about your father and your relationship with him?
My relationship with him. I mean, there is a picture of me sitting in the stairs at a summer house with just my diapers on,
Mhm.
and I was about 2, I think, and I have this red plastic hammer in my hand, and there is my grandfather and my father. They're also in kind of working clothing,
Mhm.
ripped shorts and all that stuff. And we're building the staircase. I was 2 years old and helping them with this red hammer, and I can't remember it at all, but that's still something I feel kind of close to, you know. Yeah, the thing being helping my father with doing like renovation stuff or doing stuff, cleaning up in the woods or whatever, stuff like that. I find very, yeah, that's something I will remember forever. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely. What about you?
Let's see. I guess a couple things. You know, when I was really young, I mean, probably 3 or 4. I still have vague memories of this. When I was young, I really loved fountains, like
Okay.
fountains, sprinklers, anything that involved like water falling or shooting off or anything like that. And there's a bunch of fountains in Minneapolis. I mean, you know, scattered throughout various places. And so I remember sometimes my dad and I would get on a bus and take the bus downtown just to walk around and look at fountains. And like I loved that as a kid. That felt like such a fun outing. And I still remember kind of how it feels to this day, you know, even though
Yeah.
I don't quite have my same love of fountains anymore. I mean who doesn't like a good fountain? I think
I
everyone.
mean, yeah. I mean, it's water.
I can't think of anyone that's like, oh, fountains, I hate those things. Yuck. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone doesn't dislike a fountain, I guess.
Yeah. It's what can a fountain do to be, you know, to be hated, you know?
It must be some that squirts scalding water in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Let's see, I had one other thing I was going to talk about. I know I don't know that this isn't something I remember so much, but one of the things my dad did with me as a very small kid when I, you know, was first learning to talk is he taught me answers to very specific questions. Like he taught me that the square root of 49 was 7. Like or
Okay.
like who was the first president? George Washington. And so he like it was just like a fun little trick to pull out in front of people like, look how smart my son is. Hey Tony, what's the first who was the first president? George Washington. So
that's awesome.
yeah, so I think that's fun. That's his sort of sense of humor. I kind of want to do this. I kind of regret I didn't really do the same thing for Vincent. Maybe for my other son.
Yeah.
He's getting to that age now.
Yeah, I like to teach my daughter some of that stuff, like why the flamingos are pink and so on. It's it's just something that people do not quite know.
Yeah.
And sometimes she do remember, and it's awesome when she asks her grandmother and friends like, "Do you know this?" And no, I don't. And they look at me and ask, "Is that right?" It's awesome. It's yeah, and yeah, that's so. When you see they kind of take in the thing you try to learn, that's there's something special about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it happens a lot, but sometimes it's more special than others.
Sure.
Yeah. I had something I want to say, but go ahead.
That's okay. You know, it would. Wow, total brain fart on my part too here.
Yeah. But what you can do, something I almost forgot, is that we actually asked Reddit, or I asked Reddit,
Yes.
what's your best? Let's see, what's your best story about your father? And they came in actually quite a lot of answers to this. I don't know if you want to read up your favorites, Tony.
Sure. Let me see here.
We will drop saying the names to keep them anonymous, but yeah.
Well, of course, you know we had briefly talked before we started recording. There's one member who has a very long post that I don't know that we'll read all of, but they have these little this little bulleted list of bonus tidbits, which I liked. You know, it's my father. He wears shorts in winter out of spite. If you get him drinking, he will make you play darts with him. In the absence of darts, he will accept pinball, but he will play it violently. He helped me set up a secret camera once to find out how the cat was getting into the cupboards near the ceiling. Look, I like to talk about my dad. Okay, he's great. So,
Yeah, that's
I like that.
yeah. I mean, when you're, yeah. I mean, either you like your dad or you don't, I guess. Let's see. I had one here now. There's one that says, found out my father after my father died that he stole a car, crashed it, and got arrested when he was younger. He kept it a secret from me and my brother for 30 years. That's something a father would do.
Yes, it
yeah.
does. Well, of course, we also talked about this. My family gathered a bunch of stuff to send to my cousin in the service stationed in the Middle East. My mom threw in the sports page and a Sports Illustrated. I added a Nerf Vortex, and my father's contribution, a penthouse.
I wish I had that father. A penthouse. I mean, penthouse of magazines.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that's
awesome.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a cat intrusion going on here.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of become our mascot now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, apparently he displeased my wife this morning because I was laying down on the couch, kind of dozing at about 6:30 or something, and she comes down with him and his cat carrier, just like, he's yours now. Dumps him at the end of the couch and storms back upstairs. So yeah, he's a little sometimes he wants the attention.
Yeah, he's an intruder. Yeah. That's what's you know, the stereotypical dad. Would you say you're would you say you're personally close to that? Are you becoming a stereotypical dad from the memes and stuff?
Well, I mean, I've got the dad jokes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we had that when we were 15, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've always appreciated a good groaner, as they say. But yeah, I mean, somewhat. You know, I always I always feel like the thing I don't do right is like sit on the couch and watch sports on Sundays or something like that.
Oh yeah, neither do I, but my father does.
Yeah, mine too. My dad watches his football, his American football, I should say.
Oh yeah, no, here is it's skiing or Tour de France or stuff like that, and and handball. Yeah.
Huh. Skiing, really? There's like, you watch a lot of skiing?
I don't, but there is on TV all the time in the winter. Yeah.
Huh.
All the time. It's like you have the Olympics, and you have the World Championship, and you have the European Championship, and you have the Norwegian Championship, and you have different kind of runs and jumps all around everywhere. So yeah, you can find some skiing all over the place. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think yeah, we have golf on our TV sometime. I don't know if they ever show that for you guys.
No, I mean it's maybe on some special channel, like yeah. But not on the main channels, no.
Okay.
Not that I know of. Of course, I haven't watched sports on TV since I lived at home, and that's almost 12 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But with regards to being sort of the stereotypical dad, in some ways yes, in some ways no. sometimes I also feel a little bit like the stereotypical mom, just you know, because the sort of, I mean, I think sort of the stereotype is that, like, the dad is more sort of strict and lays down the rules, and you've got the very nurturing mom who's that sort of stuff. But in our family, not like in my household anyway, I tend to maybe be the more soft-spoken, nurturing one. Not to say my wife isn't nurturing at all. She's a wonderful mother. So, but sometimes she's like the dad, and I'm like the mom, sort of stereotypically. Hey, don't bite. He decided he was done.
Yeah. I feel you there. I mean, we're also kind of changing roles sometimes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When you go, I do think I'm probably the strictest though. Do not cancel the call.
Yes. Hello, Apollo.
Escape. Yeah.
Oh, he's just gonna sit next to the computer over here now, I think.
Yeah. Close by the fan. Are you the one that cutting the lawn with like out on the Saturday and cutting the lawn with
a little of both. I mean, these days these days actually we're part of a neighborhood that has the lawn mowed for us, so I mean, that specifically we don't have to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love, but back in our old house, I was mostly the one who mowed the lawn, although I didn't really like doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
I just sort of hated it slightly less than my wife did.
Yeah, I kind of like it now because I have this garden tractor thing. So
yeah,
I drive around. It's nice.
Yeah, if I had a riding mower, it would be an entirely different story.
Yeah. I'm kind of probably stereotypical dad that way. I like my gadgets and my motorized stuff. I have this what is called, this thing you have a strap and like your what is called a hedge trimmer for like having, not a hedge trimmer. It's for cutting grass or stuff like
weed whack.
Yeah, but this is kind of bigger one.
Okay.
For you can have a blade on it to cut some small trees and stuff. Yeah.
It's, sure.
Yeah. Well, but that one, my wife likes to use. So yeah, so we have both of the things, I guess. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm jealous of all of your power tools and stuff. Like that's I feel like my failing as a dad is that I don't have power tools.
I mean, why would you need them if you don't use them in the first place? I mean, I think it was the episode about hobbies. We talked about how to get into that, and the first thing you need to do is find out what to do, and then get the tools for that. And as I mentioned, when I was 2 years old, I was helping building the staircase at the summer house, and both my father is an electrician and my grandfather was kind of a metal worker. Oh, that's not what what it's called, but yeah, stuff like that. So they're both kind of handymen, both of them. So that's kind of natural for me. But I don't know what your father is doing or did for work, but yeah.
Yeah, no, my dad's a college professor, so
yeah, not much power tools in his workplace.
I know he said before that he feels like that's his failing as a father is that he didn't pass down like handy things to me because he's not a very handy person himself. It doesn't take very much to make me feel accomplished.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Like I replaced the doorknob in our front door a couple weeks back. I'm like, wow, I'm the manliest man who ever lived.
Yeah, I mean those small things you do and you feel accomplished by that, and you could teach that. Maybe Vincent would love to watch you do that next time, and he would learn to do that and would ask questions and you would have to answer.
Sure.
And yeah, but if you're not yeah, it's in my mind again. It's words and thoughts, they're spinning around. It's so much I want to talk about when it comes to being a father and having a father and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But it's kind of hard to get it out there, to find the right words and the right setting and explanations and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. When it comes to my own father, I find like, it's funny. Like as I become an adult, like I've really actually grown to appreciate him more, as an adult than I ever did as a kid. Which I mean, I guess is probably not too uncommon for just kids and parents in general. But like, I am. My mom loves kids and she's very good with them. And so, I think it was sort of natural, as a kid for me to be very drawn to my mother, because, she stayed at home with us, and she was very good at engaging. And, my dad was a good adult who took care of the adult things while, mom was playing with the kids. So, it's, not that I wasn't close to him or that I didn't know him or anything like that, but I feel like, our relationship is much closer, as an adult than it ever was as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of been drawn to my father, I guess, more than my mom. But now I see that I've kind of taken his place when we're gathering. I mean, especially at the summer house and stuff. It's now that now I am in charge of the barbecue.
Nice.
Now it's me doing stuff with the boat. Now it's me doing this. And before it was him doing that, and it's become my job. I become kind of the father. He's become the old dude. But I like that. I feel like it's nice to give something back for things that have been given. Absolutely. And I know you've kind of taken you're cooking when you're over at your parents' house.
Sometimes, yep.
Yeah, and that's we do that because we want to, and not because we're forced to. If I didn't want to do the barbecue, he would of course do it, but I want to do it. So, yeah.
Sorry, there's a little tent in our basement that the cat has managed to like flip over entirely. Like, I don't know if you can see it in the corner there, but it was standing up normally and he has managed to flip it over somehow.
I mean, he is Greek, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's very old, so yeah, of course he learned some tricks.
Yes. Sorry, got another cat distraction as usual, just completely derails the thought train. But yeah, no, the cooking. I mean, it's fun. I've said this about my dad before. He's a very unassuming person. Like he sort of just is the sort that quietly does the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And he has no expectation that he'll ever get anything in return. And it's nice. Like he whenever I do something like, buy him lunch or, something like anything like that, he always seems just so genuinely happy about it. Like this was something he wasn't expecting. Like, he expected nothing in return, and but of course, as a dutiful son, I want to do everything I can to return the favors.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's kind of when I do stuff at home, I do not expect my children to do something back. Mm-hmm. No, I do this for us, not for them, not for me. I do this for us, and it's something that just has to be done. And yeah, that's just how it is. I know some want something back from the kids, like now it's your time to do something for me, and I don't like that. What's called that mentality.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you should never be keeping score, with your children.
Nah.
It's they are entitled to all the stuff that you do for them for the most part,
Yeah, absolutely.
And anything you get back is it just feels good. So I mean, I guess, of course, I understand my dad's mentality so much more, being a dad now too, and because I think I would feel the exact same way,
Yeah.
Not that Vincent has money to be buying me lunch, but he has sometimes he has insisted on using his own money to buy me a birthday present or something like that.
Yeah.
He will give his own money for that because he wants to, and it's really sweet. It's really touching when he does that. And
yeah, it's something you actually do not want them to do because it's their money and you want them to save up to something that's important. But in their eyes, we're important. At least I hope I am.
I imagine so.
Yeah. It's although I keep kind of accounting on all the expenses, so when they're getting 18, I have a bill for them.
And I don't know. I don't even want to know how much that bill would be.
I think it was back in the 90s. They calculated that a child from being born to being 18 cost you about that would be $100,000 in all. This is food and toys and all that stuff, and now it's way more. So
yeah, just daycare. I mean, I don't know what costs you guys have there.
Daycare. We had our daughter, and they have in daycare. She was there from I think it was about 7 to 4 o'clock, and she had all the meals, of course, and they were out in the woods and stuff and playing around all the time. And I think we paid about 3,600 crowns per month, I think, and that's about $360 ish.
That's something like that. That sounds wonderful to me. We're for our younger one right now in daycare. We're basically paying that. We're paying it's like $400 and something a week. So
$400 a week.
Yeah. So we're probably looking at in krona, we're looking at 16,000. 16,000? No. 1,000. No, I guess it'd be 16,000 a month. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 400 per week, that's 3,400 crowns.
Yeah.
That's insane, Tony.
Yeah.
But I also think every kindergarten or daycare or whatever you call it to get some support from the government here to be able to run. So I guess that's why it's so low. And we do not pay. I think we were. This is kind of out of what the parents are earning each year before tax, I think, or after taxes. We are on the top level compared. So, so if you're like a minimum wage, you would pay way less for your child. So that's a nice thing. So I mean, if you're barely getting around, you shouldn't be forced to pay thousands upon thousands. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, the dilemma I know people face is it's like daycare is so expensive. It's like, well, I could go to work to make enough money to send my child to daycare so that I can go to work.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta make enough to pay for the daycare, which, for a lot of people is not a guarantee, or like, that's a really big portion of what they make.
Yeah. When.
Sorry, the cat is.
No. I mean, I have a 8-month-old downstairs who's making a noise. I don't know if you hear him.
His noises are much cuter though.
Yeah, sometimes. Again, we're kind of off topic, but then again, we're not, because we're talking about giving and wanting to give, and we want our children to have the best upbringing as possible. And in this day and society, that costs a lot of money, unfortunately. And because of that, we have to work more, and then we're having less time with the children. We get home, we're tired, we have to help with homework and all that stuff, and it's not so much quality time that we want to. I mean, I would love to play games with my daughter and eventually my son. I would love to finish like the small renovating pots that are missing here and there to make the house perfect there for them, but it's not enough time. It's not enough energy around yet.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think, Vincent, for the last a couple of weeks, he's asking me most days, like, oh, can you play Minecraft with me? And I'm like, well, we'll see if I have time, because like, it's just, but especially being back in the office, my schedule has become a little more full in a way. So it's like, we get home, we make I make dinner while Natalie watches the kids, and we eat the dinner, and then we maybe have like an hour, before bedtime at that point. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times I'm meal planning, or I'm taking a rest because I'm exhausted,
Yeah, I mean, you wake up early, you're bringing kids to school or daycare, and you get home, you're making dinner, I mean, there's non-stop from you wake up until dinner is ready.
Yeah.
And then you eat and you go into a mild food coma. And there is so much energy coming in, but you're not able to put it out because it's used. I know the feeling too well. Even now when I'm home all day, I'm using too much energy to. Of course, I'm having quality time with my son, but still, no. I'm making dinner when I'm able to, and helping with homework, and yeah.
Nice. Oh, I hear him.
Yeah, he's not too pleased, it sounds.
Oh boy. I know I do. I really hope, because he's shown a little bit of interest in this, but I really hope that I can, help teach Vincent how to cook. Growing up, that was something, I think my parents wanted to teach me, but I don't know. We never got into it. We did a little bit for a while. We used to have like one night a week where like, I would basically be the cook for the night, and my parents would help, and then my sister would have one night where she cooked, and so I often made like tacos or something like that. But
yeah,
I'd love to teach Vincent how to cook, and tell him what I've kind of discovered over my time.
Yeah. I mean,
because there's.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, because there can be a lot of nuance, like, oh, you want to get the browning, and it's more than just throw it into a pan until it's cooked.
Yeah, I mean, you should actually fry it and not boil it and stuff like that. That's yeah. I can't actually say I've learned too much cooking tricks from my parents, but I was always home before them when I went to school, so I had the job of making kind of this is easy dinner like spaghetti and minced meat and lasagna and stuff like that. Making that at least starting with it until they got home, and so I was alone and cooking dinner, and I had kind of quality time with myself in the kitchen, and I think that's where the spark was lit. And I'm trying to make my daughter cook, help me with cutting vegetables and stuff like that, and at times she likes it, and that brings joy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it'll be a while. I know for whatever reason Vincent's kind of scared of knives.
Oh,
like, he just does not like being around a sharp knife.
Yeah,
but I have a little bit of a hang up there to get over.
Yeah,
but that's okay. Maybe I'll just have him. We have a mandolin with a a guard so you can just like slice it that way. Maybe he'll like that or something.
Yeah, we just threw out ours. We never used it.
Oh yeah.
and we got it used from my grandmother or something like that. We never used it, so we gave it away. But my daughter, she found it too hard to be cutting like bell peppers and stuff like that. So I gave her a big knife, like the one I use, and I said, now you got to be careful with the fingers and all that, blah blah blah, weigh that and look where you're cutting, and do not use the point. Use close to the handle and stuff like that, to the shaft of the knife. And she managed it quite well. Using proper tools is kind of key, and that's something I love when I want to use the big knife because that's easier.
Yeah,
Daddy taught me that. It's that's something.
Yeah, it's rewarding when you don't have to dumb something down for them and they can just do it like a grown up.
Yeah, I mean it takes a little more teaching and explanation, but kids are smart. Kids are way too smart.
Yeah.
much smarter than we think. So if you say, look where you're cutting, and have your fingers away from the knife, and use the knife close to the handle, they will do it. And that kind of surprises me, but still it doesn't, because I know she listens. So yeah, it's nice to see when they listen and do stuff like that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I do notice that we are approaching sort of our usual cutoff time here.
Yeah.
So we should probably start wrapping things up, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of been all over the place. There is so much to cover, I feel.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we could have talked about our experiences as fathers and with our fathers for a couple of more hours without getting tired. But yeah, we have this 1 hour. I've been told some people actually think it's too long for an hour, but I don't think we're able to wrap it shorter than 1 hour.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah, that will be tough. Would be. So we'll keep it an hour. Maybe we'll make some shorter ones if we're in a lack of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we are going to Denmark in the first weekend in May, and then we'll probably have a short one down there. I'll record with my phone or something like that. I will bring my phone, of course, and stand. I hope we can do something. That would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess with that we'll wrap it, I suppose, huh?
Yeah. We should thank everyone for listening, of course, and yeah, it's I've seen we have a lot of growth these days. Actually, I don't know if you've been looking at that. I've kind of been looking at the app every day to see the growth and see. It's so funny to see people are listening to us ramble about different stuff. And, we would love your feedback, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anything you have, we will take it. And if you want to join us, we're also happy to have you as a guest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, we're easy. We're easygoing. So
Yeah.
we don't
We-
give you a hard time.
No, we try not to. We try not to.
All right. Well, good to see you all again. Thanks for listening or watching, as the case may be. You know, we're on all the major platforms. I think Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, and of course we're on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have been the whole time mostly. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully next week. Goodbye, people.
See ya.